Thanks for staying with us. So this is one of our feel-good days. And there was a video yesterday that went viral that got Nigerians laughing, commending, and, you know, making mockery of the Nigerian army. And it was a video about some kind of a rehearsal they were having towards the October 1st celebrations, where the Nigerian army had some of their members jumping out of a parachute to the ground. And of course, there were people, a few people recorded it, posted it online, people commented on it, and people had different things to say. What are your thoughts on this? Because there are different angles, and because we are one of those that always try to say that we must respect our own and uphold our thing. How do we celebrate our thing? How do we uphold what belongs to us? How do we, or must we all condemn and support people in condemning? What are your thoughts on that video? That's really much what I want to ask. And let's hear your viewers' views on it. You can call us on 09139076948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweet. The video was hilarious. Let's get well, for me, it was hilarious. And it was hilarious more because of the commenting and the fact that people were screaming, yeah. So that was the funny part of it. But if you now look at what they were actually trying to do, should we be laughing at our people?
I don't know. I think if you bring entertainment to us, we'll laugh now. See, life is very hard. Let me not just lie. Every opportunity to laugh, you just laugh and move on. It's not like you're taking it to heart. And it seemed really funny because it sort of reminded, when I saw that video, I remembered this comedy at some point where a native doctor will want to help you do jazz to disappear. And then you disappear and you land somewhere very ridiculous. You land on a tree, or you just land in a different part of, you can land on a roof and just get injured and all that. So as I saw the parachute of the one that landed on the tree and people were screaming, I'm like, whoa. I was scared. Yes, I was scared for them because I feel that maybe they would have taken it to somewhere not in town. Yeah. Abuja is very big. There are lots of landscapes that don't have buildings and trees, and, you know, just take it somewhere different, totally spacious to give room for this landing anyhow, you know, because even when you watch movies and you see people land on parachute, it's not neat. You just land. But, you know, doing it where we can see and then they are landing in ridiculous places, we will laugh. It's not like we are not patriotical, but we just laugh. It's entertaining. Okay, so, Mary, what are your thoughts, especially with the comedy part of it? Because, what are your thoughts?
Now you say comedy, so that will now come across as being too serious. But there was not just comedy. There were some really mean comments that I saw, and I was not happy about Nigerians always jumping on criticizing anything that we do. I think the problem is that we watch too much Hollywood. Have you seen the Americans themselves when they are training? Have you gone to their training ground to see the mistakes that they make? And because you saw Nigerians training, rehearsing, if this had happened on the 1st of October, on the day they were supposed to do it, and you're criticizing them, I understand. But you saw them while they were rehearsing. Is rehearsal not meant to make the mistakes, to correct the mistakes, you know? So for me, I just thought, why do we always have to criticize everything that's ours? How many times have we ever seen Nigerian army parachuting from anywhere? The first time, I expected us to be proud of them. Also, we even have parachutes. So we even have our young men and our young women doing this. That's what I expected to hear. Not the constant, hey, see what they have done. Hey, this Nigeria, the government, look at it. And they landed on a tree. They land on trees too. Uncle and auntie, it's okay. And I hear winds also affect these parachutes. So maybe they had a place that they were supposed to land, and we have strong winds in the north. Everybody knows that. Who knows if you move them into that place? No, you carry video, and you're now screaming as if they're throwing bombs in the air.
But sometimes, when you have trainings, people read the weather report. They know how much wind you have, how fast is it, how slow it is, how much sunshine we're going to have, how much, you know. These are the factors you put in place before you carry out some kind of training, number one. Number two, She talked about remote areas. We could have, Zuma Rock is there. If you want to land on Zuma Rock.
No, don't mind them.
No, but the
Please,
point
what
is,
military training do you have? Where are you talking from? As a military?
as an observer.
As an observer.
As an observer, I'm saying that is it possible they could have landed in a more remote area than
Is it possible that the change in the wind redirected their landing?
I think it would have been ideal for them to land where they wouldn't have so many people being able to record. I think that trainings, the military needs to preserve the air, that look of
aura of
supernatural, superpower.
Thank you.
We need to see the military and be like, that's our military. Now, of course, we know that when you're going through trainings, there will be several failures on the journey. It's part of the journey, but we don't want to see it.
Yes.
Because we need to believe that our military
is
will fly down. They will swim through. They will jump through. They will break
your problem is Hollywood.
So it's not
Hollywood have messed your head.
It guides your perception, because what you believe, you become. And when we start to believe it, it's possible. This was really, really hilarious to watch. Like, I was shocked. I was like, hope somebody died trying to do that. Only to get online and realize that, okay, parachute landing during training can be a bit, it can be wonky.
Just that guy's landing.
But not expected from military display in the center of Abuja, you know. So it's sort of, even we're facing we're fighting a guerrilla warfare. We have people that are within us that are not for us and watching us and seeing our weaknesses. So you don't expose yourself like that. So that people will be like, is this what they will land at La Sambisa Forest? They will be landing anyhow. So it's important that we preserve that image of military superpower, invisibility, even though we know they are human beings. And why are Nigerians like this, Joy Shanumi? The commentators and all of those that were making, hey, I did not capture it. Hey, I was just wondering, every human being that holds a phone feels they're a reporter. And sometimes you need to understand that whatever you post online goes viral and it impacts how people think and behave. So we need to be responsible users of social media space. We need to be responsible people where we are recording.
It even affects how people outside look at us.
Yes.
Oh, is that your military?
You will record, you will not
tomorrow
post it
now.
Because you know the
tomorrow
impact
now.
you have.
Liberia or one country have issues. We want to send this military and like, wait, is it not you that are jumping over the
Well, articulated talk. And I like the part where perception is everything. We have a war in our hands. Our enemies cannot afford to be seeing us rehearse or see our weaknesses. We need to preserve that. We don't see the Americans doing their trainings. Those things are supposed to be shielded in secrecy. It's like you coming to the public to strip your masquerade. A masquerade that people believe they are the gods, they are spirits, and then you strip them and show people how you dress them up and how you do that. Nobody will respect the masquerade when they come outside. There are certain things that should be done, and the army is such an important unit that is not, you hardly see them. We are presenting ourselves in such a way that anybody can talk to an army official anyhow, talk to an army officer anyhow. Just is it because you are wearing uniform? I can pull that uniform from your body. We are the ones making that mistake. So the government needs to take a lesson from this. You cannot, hold human beings who are probably having a very hard time that day and they see something to make them laugh and you say they should not post videos. We are still maturing to that part where we understand how to use social media. We're not there yet. So protect the army. Show us we want to see your strength. We don't want to see your mistakes. Show us your strength. Give us that faith in you that our army is genge. And please don't make us laugh and come and complain we're laughing.
This reminds me of a conversation I'd heard on an American television where they were just talking about how people were in our homes and we watch these Olympians and athletes and sports people and we're like, see the way especially all those ice skaters, like see the way she did her leg. She could not even bend the leg very well. Meanwhile, you, just to get out from your car, they have to hold you down to get off your own car. But we are the masters of everything, the way everything is supposed to be in our own corner, in Ajegunle or in Lekki or wherever we are. We have never even seen a real-life parachute in our lives. We don't even know how it works. I have to read this. So wind certainly affects the flight pattern. The wind pushes on the parachute, causing it to be moved in the direction of the wind with whatever speed it is pushing. So until I hear from the military, I am not going to sit down here and say, why did you do it like this? I have never held on to a parachute. All I know is what happens in the movies. And the movies, before they get to that point, there's so many rehearsals that must have taken hours and hours of rehearsals. There are many takes and shots. And to say we don't see America, when you go to their country, ask them, for those that see, so that they can tell you. You don't see because you are not in that country. But they have incidences like this, and we hear about them sometimes. The Queen's funeral that happened just a few days ago, we saw all those their soldiers that are supposed to be standing, nothing touches them. We saw 4 people fall down flat on their faces. Auntie, it does not matter. The thing is, and we saw instead they didn't get criticism. They were congratulated and celebrated for their strength, even in their weakness. And that is what I would like for us to do. Our children are seeing this. They're hearing this sort of thing. Yeah. What are we teaching them? They just criticize Nigeria, no matter how they try. And then these are our children. Who are these military men? They are our sons, they are our husbands, they are our fathers, and we're constantly just bringing them down every time they try. Don't we want them to do better?
Thank you for taking us there, because interestingly, I was just saying the other day why I was upset that how Nigerians were criticizing the NDLE. It wasn't so much of NDLE, I was upset because these are young boys waking up every single day, young men waking up every day, going to fight criminals, trying to crack down on barons, and here we are criticizing the work they've done. So I hear you, you're absolutely correct. We must celebrate ours. But the covert nature that Tokpo was talking about, these things shouldn't be done on the open. So if it's actually practiced, what we should be seeing you doing on that day is what you've already practiced. Yeah, so but practicing in town. So you're right, we maybe need to talk to the military.
You know, I will never forget one report of an American military plane just bursting in flames where people were from practice. It happens, mistakes happen, and we must recognize that, not to always call it, oh, Nigeria, and condemn us all the time.
So I'm of the opinion that when you want to do a practice of that nature, there are people that you cordon off areas, you can have people on ground, because you know you cannot control what will happen. You know it's practice. You know that these things, people will record videos. You know what can happen. So the conversation is, you're not allowed to record this practice going on. People can complain, you don't allow us to record. People go to, there are some places you go to in military places, bases around the world where you are not allowed to record anything. You don't hold your phone because we don't want to be seen. Yes. As we don't want you to push our weakness outside. It's about planning. So even the wind, you know, of course, you cannot capture everything to the T, but you can pre-plan that, okay, the wind is going to go this way. Okay, these are the things that we're going to expect to happen. I'm of the opinion that the innocent, hard-working Nigerians that are probably definitely hurting, because that video, my mouth was open because I was
afraid for them.
Feel the men, the one that they say maybe landed on the tree, or the one that landed, the video we saw, there was a man that sort of like crash landed on the floor.
What part of your body did you land on? That tree one.
You know, so for me it is, are they being taken care of? You know,
okay. Can you help me
acknowledging and respecting the fact that these people, when we, in all this our social media laugh and all of that, everybody are making noise online. Are you thinking of the fact that these are somebody's children, you know, and they are learning?
I have one question
and practicing so that they can better serve us. Okay. And all of that.
Could you both of you answer this question for me, please? When you're learning something, is there room to make mistakes?
Of course.
Are military officers, when they are learning something new, are they allowed to make mistakes?
Learn it covertly.
Yeah. Wait. I'll get to covertly. Are they allowed to make mistakes?
Of course, they are human beings.
Do mistakes happen in America, in London, everywhere that we like to go? Yes. Fantastic. Covertly, we talked about the wind direction. If we know that wind direction moves, and if they are first-timers, or for some reason it moved them and they were not able to, was it the whole parachuters that we saw falling that way? We saw a few. The people in London that fell during the Queen's funeral, 4 people fell. Was it all of them that fell? No.
And you probably didn't know what the commentator said online.
No, it does not even matter. No, I read, yes, people speak, but I also read comments of how they celebrated them. They understood them. So our own is, we have to give room for people to learn, to make their mistakes while they are learning. We talk about that for ourselves as well. We say, you know, try and make your mistakes, do your things even while failing, you know, you learn from them. If you're not allowed to make mistakes, then why would you even try at all?
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, this issue is actually deeper than this issue of that parachute. It's really about the Nigerian conscience and how we take things and how we celebrate our things. Let's go on a break. We'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the video that went viral concerning the Nigerian army while they were practicing for the October 1st rehearsals. I know that you want to say something.
I remember the first time I went to New York City, the hotel we checked in, just put their local television, and I saw a panel of different people they sat down and they were tearing their government down. They were breaking it down. There was a part of New York that they didn't have clean water to drink. There were some shootings that had happened the week before we got into the country. When I saw them, I was like, whoa, okay, so these people criticize their people. I think the idea for criticism, especially for bodies and organizations and people, is to hold them to a higher standard. It's not because we are not patriots. We love, see, me, I can't live in another country. Even if I go on vacation and I come back, my home is my home. I would love to see my army respected. I would love to see my police officers respected. I would love to see them carry that value, that dignity that they had growing up, where some of us were picking, want to be a soldier, want to be, now you don't hear kids say things like that. I want us to get to that point. And we will hold them to a higher standard, not because we don't like them, not because we don't see the sacrifices they are making, but because we want them to make it better. We want them to do all due diligence. You are not going to be complacent because you did not read a weather report. You are supposed to read weather reports. If we see the mistakes, we'll point it out so that next time you will do it better. Not because we don't love you, but we want you to be better so that we can be proud of you. However, when I saw those people in New York talking about their government, the American government, they were criticizing back to me and my husband just sat down. I said, like, so this happens here as well. The difference is they don't shoot their own outside their place. They find a way to cover it. So Nigerians would learn not to quickly go on social media and broadcast it. You can watch it and, find a way to, I don't know if there's any platform where you could send your criticisms to. Maybe like the army will have their website where you can go and write their comments. So we need to learn. Yes, we need to learn. I don't know. We need to learn to go there, go to those sites, make those reports, and not come and hear an officer defend it, take the feedback, and then work on it. Why people don't complain is because the next minute you hear them defending all the action. So, I think
that Biden almost fell off on the plane. No, they say it. So there's also this, and it happened globally. We all saw it. We all watched it.
So I agree with you, which is criticism is important, but you know more than anyone, because you're the person that does, you're a coach and everything. You know that there's a difference between criticism and mockery.
Yes,
I know. Good. All right.
So in this case, sometimes how you say it is important. And what we're saying here is not that what we saw and the way it was done was the most appropriate way. Like the feedbacks that we got, it's not like it's the ideal way to do it, but was it from the place? Where did it come from? Where did it come from? What was the intention? When you were recording it, it could have been that they were recording so that they can say, wow, that would have been why you were recording. For example, in Nigeria, I've never seen parachute in Nigeria being flown. I've never seen it. So if I see it, I'm going to record it probably with the intention of being amazed and sharing this.
Which is where
you will see it on the 1st of October.
Which is where I was taking us to. Because as much as after we talk about the flowery part of why did they do that, let's go back to the intention of that video, which is about what exactly did you just want to laugh at the Nigerian army? Now, this is an army that helped in Sierra Leone. This is in ECOMOG. This is an army. Yes, in our own country, they haven't done much with Boko Haram. Yes, they're doing a lot. No. In Nigeria, wait. They are doing a lot. But the Nigerians feel that because we still have insecurity, they've not done enough. But we see the work they do.
And because we don't really highlight positives.
We magnify and amplify the negative. So the point is that we as a people need to change the way we share our stories. We need to change the way, and if that person had recorded out of being wild, we'll just record it and just stay put and calm down. And when you realize the army is safe, you run and go, oh, are you okay? Are you fine?
Oh, how beautiful would that have been?
Yes. So you are looking at them in awe, like, wow, fantastic, well done. Are you okay? Do you need any help? And the person stands up and you're like, oh, Nigerian army, dusted off, feel proud. But here,
you have just taught
the end. We didn't record it.
I know.
And that's why we're doing this show. No. What do we do? Media reorientates people.
Yes,
Media
I love that you just
know what they're supposed to do. Yeah. People don't know. People behave based on what they see around them. And what we see is bring your phone and record it and do it, so that's where it will go viral. But what if we are now using this as an opportunity to say, well, you see such a thing, you should understand and have an emotion, have that
Appreciate.
appreciate.
If it was an Oyinbo country
and
now,
be-
they will say, oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness,
Let
are you
there be
okay?
appreciation.
Are you
Let there
okay?
be
Man
compassion
down, let's
in
have-
how you deal with with people that are.
We even take a picture with the guy that fell down. Let's take a picture. He just come
Okay,
down.
so I'm happy that you did this because, as you said, many times it's because we don't know what to do. We just keep repeating a pattern over and over again. What you have just done for me is that you have just changed the pattern.
Yeah.
So people now know differently. They understand that when you see a situation, go there and lead with compassion, lead with kindness.
Yes.
And just imagine if it was your younger brother that had been called to join the military
Yeah.
and he had called you a day before.
I'm
We are
going
going
parachute.
parachuting today. I hope you get to catch, and then to hear that everybody's
You
laughing.
can even change the life of that army. Say, thank you for defending our country. I just want to greet you. I know you guys work so hard.
Those are the
I know.
things that
Thank you
people
because
see
I know you are the front lines for us. And these are the things we learn.
Yes, and I like the fact that we're going to be learning it. But
Let me quickly take pause. Let me take this call from
I want to
Chinyere.
but
Don't bother.
Good morning, Chinyere. Are you there? Hello, Chinyere. You are live.
Hello. Yes.
I can't hear you.
How's everybody doing?
Good morning. It's so hard to hear her. Go ahead, please, Chinyere.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now, a little bit better, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you, ladies, for this initiative. Your view is a wonderful program.
Thank you. I can hardly hear you. But go ahead.
Awake.
It's not you, Chinyere. It's just the studio that needs to increase the volume. Go ahead. Thank you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Chinyere. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said I want to thank you for this initiative.
You're welcome.
Your view. It's
Thank
a
you.
good program. And this is my first time calling in.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So, I actually wanted to talk about yesterday's conversation, but that's okay. Today, when we talk about the military, I saw that video. I don't know if I was to laugh or to cry. You can tell that Nigeria, we are filled with humor. Even the things that we're not supposed to make fun of, we make fun of it. I guess it's just because of the state of the country. So we try to make out humor out of everything. But sometimes we have to go beyond that level. We need a lot of education. We need a lot of enlightenment. Like you rightly said, if you stay overseas, when somebody like that falls, the first question is, are you okay? They are calling 911. They are calling paramedics to make sure that that person that fell is not injured.
That way.
Thank you.
Thank
But
you.
not in our country. When somebody falls, people gather like that, and it's not ideal. We need to improve. And I want to thank you all one more time.
Thank you, Chinyere. Thank you.
So when you sent this message, say me, I laughed when those British soldiers fell down. No, I even saw Prince Abi King Charles stagger. I thought he had vodka. So everybody can laugh. You cannot stop people from laughing. However, I like the fact that now we are beginning to reorient people to know the best things to do in situations like that. But it will not be easy if you expect empathy from somebody who doesn't have empathy, from somebody who has not been shown empathy, from somebody who does not have a sense of identity.
Yep, you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah, exactly. You can't give what you don't have. So while we are trying to, support our officials, our security agencies, our military, the police, let them also have a form of dignity in themselves that will give us that, that will encourage us to support them the more. So let's, those things that they do that we see, that makes us think, is this a policeman? Is this a military man? See how they are behaving outside. They too need to take responsibility for their behavior, for how people see them. Because I remember growing up vividly. It was a thing of pride to be a soldier. I'm not kidding. We had people who would come home, after how many years of going to fight somewhere else representing Nigeria, and the whole village we gathered to celebrate them. They had a form of dignity. They need to get it back.
Really?
Yes.
I never knew that.
They need to get it back. So there's a lot of work to be done on both ends. While we Nigerians are trying as much as possible to take responsibility, they too should take responsibility in how we perceive them.
And very good. I agree with you, but I just do not think that this case is what will bring the talk of dignity because they fell on a tree. But I want to take these two different tweets. There are two different opinions, and I just think it's important. So Emmanuel says, one of the few times I disagree with Miriam, paratrooping has been perfected for close to a century now. As someone who knows, that tarmac landing was pure incompetence, symptomatic of the Nigerian rot in the armed forces, like discretionary payment of personnel allowances. And I think that's a valid point. But Mustafa Rukaya says, thank you, ladies. I align with Miriam. Independence Day celebration is to hold at the Eagle Square, where they crashed is the Federal Secretariat opposite the Eagle Square. So please, the military hasn't done anything wrong. They are practicing in the right place. God bless our military. So she has given us context that could have,
So I take the conversation more to how we regard our security agencies.
And more importantly, how you push the narrative. We talk about NDLEA a lot under the current leader because there is a systemic series of actions. The successes are also highlighted. You can succeed and you don't highlight it. You can succeed and nobody hears about it. But in the NDLEA, when every success happens, it is reported, followed back to back. With the military, we rarely hear. It's convenient to say that we don't want to tell you what we're doing, we don't tell you our strategy, we don't want to share this opinion, but you must learn to control the narrative. So when this thing happened, I would have expected that...
There was a press release.
Yes.
There was a press release.
We didn't have them everywhere. Like, give interviews, explain what is happening. Let us know what
they told us.
Release video showing this is what usually happens. This is normal thing. So there's a press release, but I'm saying, like, when you control the narrative means that you're everywhere. You are engaging people. So and you know what the police did with Ohudei, what's his first name?
Udei. Benjamin, no.
Is it David?
David Udei. We need to see more of that, where you are on Twitter with them. As they give you one, you are explaining them. There's a conversation
Nigeria Army is defending our country. Let me take this call from Shegun. Shegun Okiaro. Good morning from Okiaro. Are you there?
Yeah.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
I'm here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
sir.
Yeah, my name is Shegun, calling from Okiaro.
Yeah.
Geographically in Ogun State. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Kudos to you ladies.
Thank you, sir.
I like the work you are doing. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Now, about the parachuting from the airplane that we are discussing. Now, I think the problem with Nigerians is that we really don't analyze issues very well or look deeper into it. Now, such things are not even supposed to be made to the public. You can imagine the Federal Secretariat at Abuja is under siege by Boko Haram or bandits. The military will not tell the public that we are coming to attack them and so on and so forth. They will just take them by surprise. So I'm sure they must have done their homework very well, practice and so on, as the lady Miriam, I think, and you said earlier. And on the day, which was that Wednesday or was this yesterday, yeah, anything can happen. Some mistakes are bound to be made, and one of the mistakes is the one hanging on the tree. So it really doesn't matter much that you have that kind of percentage of mistakes. Right. The most important thing is that the public is not supposed to know when the army is going to attack anybody claiming the Federal Secretariat under siege.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Shegun. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a few more tweets and then we wrap up. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to take a few comments on social media on this topic before we wrap up.
Yes, I also wanted to make a case for the military because Tokwe had mentioned that we don't hear from them as much, but the truth is we do. So like every time I read newspaper review, like the NDLEA, they give us like two weekly reports. The military does that consistently. And one of the things I hear Nigerians always, we like to use that, we don't hear from them. Sometimes we don't listen, we don't go to where the information is, especially look at what happened with NDLEA and that misinformed and uninformed tweet that went out and was retweeted over the way that the NDLEA handled the process of burning that cocaine. And even though the NDLEA had made many, had put out many messages on Twitter, on social media, on television, on radio. I remember their spokesperson, Femi Babafemi, was on Twitter Spaces. Like everyone was there to ask questions, and you were not part of any of that conversation. Then you woke up one morning, and you decided, why don't I put out this tweet? And it was just so wrong. And that's the thing. these people are putting out information. If you have not got to the place that they have put the information there, you have not asked the question, then you have no right to put out information that you have no basis.
Can we even have a look at the people, the caliber of people putting out this information?
The
ordinary Nigerians who are just hustling and trying to make ends meet, who do not even know any better, are the ones doing this video and posting on
No, but there's also...
No, because they have access to the phone, the data, and all of
that. The person that started the tweets
is I'm talking about the tweets right now. I'm talking about this video now. If both of us video that thing, there's a way we put it out, even if we want to do that, because we have that knowledge. So can we make room for those people who are still on the ground coming up and try to understand them as well?
Let me take this call, then we wrap up. Good morning, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, what I wanted to say about this military parachute or something, the thing is that military is something that everybody knows that is very, very important in every country. On their training, let me just say, for instance, the one you do at the rear-enders in my church, you don't even say where people or where public can see. Now you can see the whole military, the Nigerian military, now doing something in a public. You know, we are all human beings. There's no way somebody can see something that will make him to laugh that no laugh. So the laugh is something that you cannot just control that person to not laugh.
Right.
When you see something that will make you laugh, you will laugh.
Yeah.
No matter anyhow.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Iberi.
The military should know.
Thank you. Let's take a few comments and we run off.
Yes, so September Production says no paramedics on ground to care for them. What they did was very risky on the military themselves. Chase Richard said, more so, let's call it what it is. Nothing is planned properly in the country. Calculate the flight path, feet and altitude of the aircraft, wind pattern and distance to the landing zone before eject. Shegun.
Okay, let me wrap up because I do recall that the military did send out a press release saying that if you see operatives or any of our military men within the metropolis, that don't be scared.
Don't be afraid, yeah.
Don't be afraid because we are actually just rehearsing. They said it, and we mentioned it on this show. So we as a people, just like Mariam said, we don't look for information.
But we were not afraid now.
Yeah,
it was laughing.
You were mocking them. You were mocking them. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, wrap up.
So the point is, they did give us information. Now, the two things, when we see things like this, as our scholar said, it's funny, right? Okay, fine, you can laugh at it. But the intention when you post a video such as that, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to celebrate the efforts of the military? You're trying to put them to shame. Is this a mockery or is this a celebration of it? Yeah. That's what we should. That's the narrative that must change as a nation. If we're going to pull this nation together, it's not just about the military, the government, it's about we the people. How do we share our story is the real conscience. So we reference the NDLA, we reference the military, even the police, how we treat them. A police officer stops you and you're just sizing him up. Why are you to talk to me? Why are you stopping me? You know, respect, because we need them. So we can't have a society without these people. True. So please let us respect the officers of the law and ensure that wherever they goof, we'll definitely say they goof. Wherever they are doing their job, please adhere to understand that they are doing their job.